I have another draft here. This is one of first of hopefully many M15 drafts that I am going to take a part of this summer. So I'm going to just go over each card. Some of these cards are kind of new, so I'm going to go over what each card does for the first few weeks. And then I guess once people actually get used to the set, I won't actually go over each card and what they do. So I'm a one drop as the Elvis Mystic. You tap it and it does a green. It's a one drop, so it kind of helps you ramp a little bit. To be honest, I haven't actually played with this card tonight. I did add it, just to help me ramp, but when it did ramp, it did help me out. And then I have two Borderland Marauders. When Borderland Marauder attacks, it gets +2/+0 to end of turn. So on turn 3, it can swing as a 3/2. And then I have a Rune Call Bear. And with the Rune Call Bear, it's just a 2/2 for 1 in the green. Nothing really special, kind of like the Grizzly Bear, quote unquote, on this set. Then I have a Gargoyle Sentinel. It has Defender, and if I pay 3, it loses Defender against flying until end of turn. And it's a 3 cost. Then I have Krinkos Enforcer. It's just a 2 in the red, 1 and 2 red for an Intimidate 2/2 creature. This guy is actually really, really good. A lot of the decks I played against this evening, there are only 2 people that actually played red, and I lost to both of those players to one card that I'll talk about a little later, which I actually have in my drafts. Then I have a Roblin Rough Rider. He's a 3/2 for 2 in a red. Nothing really special about this guy. He is pretty aggressive cost, so kind of like him. He's really good. I have a Rummaging Goblin. He's also 2 and 1 red. If you tap it, you discard a card, then draw a card. So it's kind of like the Looter. There's 1 in blue as well. He's actually helped me He's actually a pretty good card. There's a couple times where I was drawing land, so I kind of discarded and hopefully draw something awesome. Netcaster Spider is a 1 and 2 color, 1 green and 2 colorless. It has reach, and whenever he blocks a creature with reach, it gets +2/+0 to end the turn. He's actually really good. Blue, there's a lot of blue flyers, a lot of white flyers. This guy actually is really, really good against those. I wish I had multiples because I did come across a lot of flyers, but he's good as a one-off. Definitely picking him up more when I draft green. Oh no, get back here. Then I have a Reclamation Sage. When it enters the battlefield, it destroys a target enchantment or artifact. And he's also 1 green and 2 colorless. This guy, actually, I main decked him. I don't necessarily think it's right. I didn't really run across a lot of enchantments or a lot of artifacts. There's a lot of artifacts in this set. A lot of decent artifacts. I didn't run across too many enchantments. So maybe in the future I might sideboard it in. I don't really think it's good as a main deck unless you see a lot of artifacts. And then I have a Scrapyard Mongrel. Is 1 red and 3 colorless. When this guy, when you actually control an artifact, it gets +2/+0 and it has trample. So it swings as a 5/3 with trample potentially. This guy is really good. He's really solid as a 3/3. And if you happen to have an artifact, which I have a couple in my deck, he actually becomes pretty good. He's actually a threat, so I like him a lot. Then I have a Living Totem. It has Convoke, which is a mechanic that's been around for a while, but it's back for the core set. How Convoke works is that for each time you cast a spell, you can pay mana or tap the creatures for 1 of that mana of that creature's 1 mana of that creature's color. So Living Totem is 1 color, 3 colorless and 1 green. When it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 token on a +1/+1 counter on another target creature, so you can't put the counters on itself. So, but he's pretty good, especially with the Intimidate dude. Next turn you play him, and he's swinging as a 3/3 Intimidate. And then I have a Shaman of Spring. When it enters the battlefield, it draws a card. You draw a card. It's 1 green, 3 colorless. I kind of like this card. He's cool. It's a cool card. Drawing cards is always important. So I wouldn't really run a lot of these. I'll probably run, because it's so cost. It's high cost. So maybe just 1, maybe 2. I did play this in the pre-release. It actually drew me some pretty good cards, but man. Then for my 5 drops, I have a charging rhino. It's a 3 colorless and 2 green. It cannot be blocked by more than 1 creature. So basically, each time it attacks, if you're gonna chump block it, you only have to do it with 1 creature. You can't multi-block it, so it's pretty good on its own. When you have some equipment attached to it or something to pump it, it's even really better, so it's kind of cool. Then for my 6th drop, I have an Ancient Silverback. Ancient Silverback is 4 colorless and 2 green. It is a 6/5 and it has Regenerate. You pay a green and you regenerate it. I actually didn't play with this card a lot tonight, mainly because I didn't really draw into it. I ended up signing it out for another card I'll talk about later. I also have 2 Siege Worms, and these guys have Convoke, where you tap and you can get any of the color of said creature, and it has Trample, and it's a 7/7, 5/5 for 5 colorless and 2 green. So a lot of times, if the board kind of stalls out, you can actually pay it. You know, I've actually paid 4 or 5 for this guy, and having 2 of them is actually pretty good. So. Alright, and then I'm going to go over my non-creature spells. I have a Shrapnel Blast. How this works is that when you sacrifice it, you sacrifice an artifact when you cast it, and it does 5 damage to target creature or player. So this is pretty good. Good removal. Good finisher, I guess, if you swing in. I finished the game a couple of times, killed a creature a couple of times. It's really good. Titanic Growth. This is in the last core set. It's 1 green, 1 colorless. You get target creature gets +4/+4 to end the turn. Since there's a lot of tramplers in this set, this card is actually really good. With Brawler's Plate, it's equipment. It has 3, and equipped creature gets +2/+2 and trample. And the equip cost is 4. So for pretty much any creature that I play, once this is attached on it, you swing out and then you Gigantic Growth it, which I kind of got more of these. This card actually is not bad. This is like one of the first few core sets that actually has decent equipment that actually is useful. And there's not a lot of bounce, and there's not a lot of hate, enchantment hate, artifact hate. It's there, but it's not a lot of it. So this card actually gets through, especially like on the Ancient Silverback or a Recharging Rhino or any of the other creatures I have in my deck, or even Scrapyard Mongrel, because it becomes a 7/5 double trample. I guess that doesn't matter, but it gets more power, or the Reach Spider, or any of the other creatures. And then I have 2 Hunt the Weeks. Hunt the Week is a sorcery for 3 green and a colorless, 3 colorless and a green. You put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it fights another target creature. So since there's a lot of like 1 toughness, 2 toughness creatures in the set, most of the time you can get away with killing the creature and swinging without them blocking and killing the dude that you're actually swinging with after you do the Hunt the Week. So it's actually a pretty good card. It's a lot better in this set than it was, I think, in M14, because since the games, I think with this set, a lot of the matches I played were slower. I'll talk about some of the matches later, but let me just finish going over the card. And then I have a Meteorite. This guy, you play that as a 5 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, does 2 damage to target creature or player. So it's kind of like a, and you also tap it and you add a mana to any color in your mana pool. So it's kind of like a, it's like a, I guess it's a ping. It does 2 damage. It kills stuff, or you can kill your opponent with it. And it taps for mana, so that's pretty good. It helped me ramp a little bit sometimes, but yeah. I like the art too, because you kind of look at it and it's meteor fell on a dude and you can see his shoes, so that's kind of messed up, man. Way to go out. And then probably my favorite card so far with playing with the pre-release is Cone of Flame. Cone of Flame, how it works is that it's 2 red and 3 colorless. Cone of Flame deals 1 damage to target creature or player, 2 damage to another target creature or player, and 3 damage to a third target creature or player. And the way it's worded, you have to have 3 valid targets when you cast it. And when you cast it, you have to do the damage. You have to stack it. So it's 1, 2, 3. So this card is really, really good. And in this set, there's a lot of like 1 toughness, 2 toughness creatures. So you're more than likely gonna get 3 for 1 in most cases. Even if you're pinging your opponent, when there's like a 2 toughness and a 3 toughness dude, you're still doing a little bit of damage and it kind of clears the board. But it's best when your opponent has a 1 toughness, 2 toughness, and 3 toughness guy, and you just kill their board, wipe them out, and swing out. So I'm gonna go over some of the cards I sideboarded because I played with these cards in the pre-release. Thundering Giant. It is 2 red and 3 colorless. It has haste, so you can attack with it the same turn you cast it. These cards, I ended up signing these out with the H's Silverback, and I don't know what other creature I was signing it out for, but these guys are really good against like slow, grindy decks because you have to stack on the damage. And usually they don't have a lot of removal. 3 damage, 3 toughness does, since there is a lightning strike in this set, it does get hit by lightning strike, but they have to waste a lightning strike on the threat. So this guy is actually really good. It's better in this set in draft than I expected because I ended up signing both of these in quite a bit tonight. So these guys are really good. Vanilla creatures with haste, does a lot of damage. So, and it does more damage with Titanic Growth, or if you're able to equip the Brawler's Plate or Hunt the Weak before you attack with it, do extra a little bit more damage. I think that's the only other card I cited in. I didn't really get any rares. They actually did pass out Angaruk Wake's promos, so they passed those out. But overall, the deck actually liked it. I actually was going red in pack 1, and then I got past 1 Elvish Mystic, and then the next pack, the Ancient Silverback was in it. So I was like, okay, green must be open, and I guess it was. With the decks I played against, there were quite a few people playing life gain decks. Well, my first round opponent, I guess he actually first picked the Soul of Theros, so life gain was actually pretty good for his deck. I played against another life gain deck in round 3, and the games were kind of close because he had like the dudes the Convoke card that had tokens. You make 1/1 tokens that fly, so I had to kind of like kill him. And then my losses were against other rare players. My one opponent was red-black, and my other opponent I lost to he was red-blue. And then my final round opponent, I actually lost against him, and he was playing green-blue. He had the Storm Tide Leviathan, and he had 3 rares. He had the one in artifact where if you kill it, it can't be blocked by creatures with 2 or more power, and when it dies, it does 6. So that card is really, really good. Other than that, man, the deck was pretty good. I ended up going 3 and 3. It's actually like a little over 2 o'clock. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. We actually started really, really late, and because we started really, really late, we ended up drafting really, really late, and then because we drafted really, really late, we actually started like round 1 at like 8:30. So and it's supposed to start at 7. I guess it's because a lot of people were new, and this is the first pre-release with the new set. I'm sorry, the new release, the actual official release of the set. So the first draft of the set. So probably after the first few weeks, it'll start to die down, and I can actually go home in a decent hour. Plus, I have to move tomorrow. Me and my girlfriend found a place, and we're moving. So I decided to play Magic, and it's almost 3 o'clock, and I have to get up in the morning to help move. So other than that, my deck, I liked it. I don't think I'm going to win anything. A lot of people tonight. Other than that, man, that's it. So expect more of these draft videos as the set progresses and people start to figure out some really good cards. I think Code and Flame, though, I think is probably like one of the best cards in the set. Or is it Code and Flame? There you go. This is probably going to be like one of the best cards, premium removal of the set, only because you can really wipe a board out. Like, you can really turn the tide of the game with just this one card. He has a sorcery, but man, when you get 3 creatures with it, it's pretty good. Other than that, we'll just keep going, see what happens. Hopefully I draft some really good rares and actually do better next time. So that's it. You guys have a good night. I hope you guys enjoyed. If everyone else drafted, hope you guys enjoyed your draft. Yeah, so good night and M15. Yo, adios.